All right, you guys wanted it, so buckle up. We're going deep on that England-Australia rugby map.
Oh, yeah, the one in Twickenham.
That's the one. And trust me, this was more than just looking at the final score. Autumn Nation Series, legendary venue, the kind of stage set for a story.
And what a story it was.
Absolutely.
I think what really grabs you about this match is it wasn't just skill, it was like a look into both teams' mentalities.
So rewind to the beginning, right? First 20 minutes, England's practically popping champagne already.
Looking unstoppable.
2 tries by Chandler Cunningham South, both from close range.
Brutal.
It felt like England had figured out how to crack Australia's defense wide open.
They were using their forwards like battering rams, just creating these gaps for those power plays.
And the scrum.
Dominant. They had a launch pad for every attack.
Wallabies were on their heels, that's for sure. But then something changes.
Yeah, it's like a switch flipped.
Even Jamie George, England's captain, said they took their foot off the gas.
Interesting choice of words.
Was it getting cocky? Or did Australia just wake up?
I think, honestly, a bit of both. England might have thought, game over, let's relax a bit.
Makes sense.
But at the same time, Australia started to really mess with England's rhythm.
Yeah.
Get aggressive at the breakdown, slowed down England's possession, stopped those big attacks we saw earlier.
So credit to the Aussies for adapting.
Big time. Resilience on full display.
Yeah, they were down, but Tom Wright and Harry Wilson, those guys kept the fight going.
And then you had Joseph Swally making his debut, some really bright moments from him.
Future of the Wallabies looking interesting right there.
Yeah, that try by Wright, just slicing through England's defense.
Didn't play for sure.
They were saying, we're not done yet.
Yeah.
And you could feel the momentum shift.
And then just when you're thinking, maybe England's going to coast.
Coast in, they bring on Ollie Slade home.
Off the bench, and bam, 2 tries.
What does a sub like that do for a team?
Oh, man, game changers. That's what subs can be.
Fresh legs, new ideas. Sometimes a guy just comes on with this fire in his belly.
And Slade home he did.
He injected this energy into England's attack. It was like watching a whole different team.
That second try, the teamwork with Dombrandt and Randall.
Textbook. Perfect execution. Showed how vital support play is in rugby.
So, okay, England's back in the lead.
Back in the lead, but man, even watching, you just knew.
It wasn't over?
Nope, not even close.
The whole stadium was buzzing, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife.
That's the beauty of rugby, right? You never really know what's going to happen next.
And then, those final minutes, pure chaos.
Buckle up.
Kellaway breaks away, scores a try, seemingly out of nowhere, puts Australia ahead.
Holding our breath?
Then Itoje scores for England. Game over. Right.
Wrong.
Max Jorgensen, folks, debut match.
Debut match, the kid scores the game-winning try.
Offload from Ikitau, bursts through a gap, dives into the corner. I mean, what a moment.
And it wasn't even some complicated play. Raw talent, instinct, knowing exactly where that line was while running full speed.
You could almost see England's defense faltering. Australia had been chipping away at them.
Exactly. They found the weak spots and exploited them.
Heartbreak for England, pure joy for the Wallabies, but even before we get into what all this means...
Just take a second to picture yourself there.
At Twickenham, that crowd?
The roars, the gasps, the cheers, that's what makes this sport so incredible.
The ups and downs all packed into one match.
It's a microcosm of everything we love about rugby.
We're just getting started, folks. Stay with us. We're going to break down the bigger picture of this match and what it means for both teams.
Oh, yeah, we're diving deep.
You bet we are.
It's wild, right? That finishes something else. But, for England, this loss is tougher because it's the second week they've choked, like given up a lead.
It's going to be demoralizing. Losing like that twice in a row just crushes your spirit.
Oh, it does serious damage psychologically.
In what way? Like, what does that do to a team?
Doubt creeps in, fear of making the same mistakes again.
You start second-guessing yourself.
Exactly, especially in those big moments. You hesitate, don't take risks.
So how do they fix it? What needs to change for England?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not just physical, it's mental toughness, game management.
Right.
England's got to figure out why they fall apart under pressure. Like, do they get too conservative? Are they making the right calls?
Communication's key in those late-game scenarios.
Absolutely. That's something the coaches need to work on.
On the other side, this win, huge for Australia, especially after all those losses they had before.
Where ye medal, a real statement win for the Wallabies.
What does it say about them?
They've got the talent, the guts to take on the best.
And they're young, rebuilding.
This kind of win, it changes everything, gives them belief, Shows them what they're capable of.
And Max Jorgensen, man, that final try was just...
Unbelievable, especially for a debut.
The guy played like a veteran.
It shows you the talent coming up in Australian rugby.
That speed, that awareness on the last play, incredible.
But it wasn't just him. It was the whole team backing him up. That try doesn't happen without Ikito's offload.
It was a team effort.
They were playing for each other, right to the very end.
And let's be honest, nobody expected this.
No.
Everyone thought England had this in the bag.
Easy win, right?
Australia flipped the script, the underdog story we all love.
It's a reminder that in rugby, you can't count anyone out.
Anything can happen.
In sports, absolutely. The team that wants it more, fights harder, that's who wins.
And Australia, they wanted it. You could see it.
They were hungry, determined throughout the whole match.
Can you imagine being at Twickenham? That atmosphere?
Oh man, Twickenham's always electric, but for a match like this,
Intense.
every play, the crowd roaring, gasping, cheering, it's an experience you don't forget.
All right, so we've looked at the tactics, the big moments, what this means for both teams, but let's bring it back to you guys, the listeners.
What stood out to you?
Was it England's power at the start? Australia's refusal to quit? Jorgensen's game winner?
For me, it was the emotional roller coaster. You know, England's confidence, then Australia's comeback. That final play, it had everything.
We want to hear from you. Did this change how you see these teams?
What are your predictions?
Hit us up on social media. We love hearing your thoughts.
As we keep going with this deep dive, here's something to think about. Was this England collapsing or Australia's pure will to win?
That's a debate that'll go on for a while.
Fans, experts, even the players themselves.
This match, it's going to be remembered as one of the best between these two rugby giants.
And it just shows why we love this sport. The twists and turns, the strategy, the raw emotion, it's all there.
Stick with us. We're going even deeper, looking at the plays and decisions that shaped this wild match. You know, it's crazy to think, like, if just a couple things had gone differently,
Oh, yeah.
this whole match could have had a different ending.
Easy.
What if England had kept up that intensity they had at the beginning?
Right, that first 20 minutes.
Or if they hadn't made those mistakes at the end?
It just shows you, in rugby, the smallest things can change everything.
A missed tackle, a dropped ball,
The whole game flips on its head.
like a domino effect.
Exactly. One tiny change, and who knows what happens.
Makes it so exciting to watch, though. You never know.
Unpredictable. That's the beauty of it.
And this match, it was like the ultimate underdog story.
Yep.
Everyone's counting Australia out. They're facing this powerhouse England team.
And then, bam, they pull off this amazing comeback.
Inspiring, really.
Shows their resilience, you know, that belief in themselves.
Even when they were down, they never gave up.
They kept fighting, kept pushing, and it paid off.
It's a good reminder for England, too. You can't get complacent.
Oh, no, not in rugby.
You can't let up for a second.
Got to respect your opponent, stay focused. Every minute counts.
Australia, they took advantage of those moments when England lost their focus, and that's what won it for them.
Absolutely. Those little lapses in concentration, they can be deadly.
So we've talked about all the tactics and stuff, but at the end of the day,
It's about the people.
that's what makes it so interesting. The passion, the heartbreak, the joy.
It's why we love sports, right? We see ourselves in these athletes, their struggles, their victories.
Reminds us that anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
For sure.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
What have we learned?
this match, it was more than just a score. It was a glimpse into these players, their dedication, their love for the game.
And even in losing, there are lessons to be learned.
England, they'll figure out what went wrong, come back stronger. That's what makes sports so great.
Always room for growth, for improvement.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, folks. Hope you enjoyed it.
We had fun breaking it all down.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.